right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting set here tonight for another edition of NASCAR Thunder 2004 on the channel. Hopefully you guys are having a great afternoon into early evening hours up to this point. We are going to have a lot of fun here today at the Talladega Super Speedway on NASCAR Thunder 04. It is the Aaron's 499, so a 500-mile race here tonight at the biggest, baddest track on the NASCAR schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get involved in this race because, I mean, it just flat out was awesome. We had a pretty good show here. The first two races we had, or actually the three races we had here back on Season 1, so I know that this one is going to be a fun one as well throughout. Joshua Rumsey, R6R6, Parkway Intros, Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream, everybody. Hopefully you guys are still around. I saw you guys in the chat leading up to it. I was finally able to get my camcorder to work, so we're using that as a camera, so the quality might be a little bit better there. I might not have it in the perfect position right now. I was trying to adjust it, and by the time I actually got the camcorder to work, I still wanted the stream to start on time, and I still wanted to use it, so it might not be in the best area right now. But anyway, I'll figure that out by the end of the stream. I'll really get a good glimpse and be able to go back through the stream and figure out maybe where I would want to put it for the next time to come. But thanks for everybody either just coming back into the chat again or just joining in for the first time. It should be a pretty fun race here today. Again, as mentioned at Talladega, qualified in the top 10. Terry Labonte will be starting 6th. And we've got Cheez-It on the car for the second straight race for NASCAR Thunder 04 with this Terry Labonte paint scheme. Should be a lot of fun. I got the Cheez-It hat once again here representing our brand on the race car here tonight, our primary sponsor. And as well, I got my final packet of original original Cheez-Its, so I'll probably have to either buy more or something. I don't know. Next time we go to race NASCAR Thunder 04 with this stream. But, yep. Here we go. Wow, cool background in here. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I put that up last second, too. I still have to adjust it. Again, it's going to depend on where I have the camera, so I just put it right there for now. But that will likely be adjusted tomorrow once I get off of work again, because I'll have a couple hours to do it. By the time I got done eating when I got home and everything, and then did everything with the dogs, I only had a half hour, 45 minutes to figure this out. But anyway, enough talking. Let's get into the race. This is what you guys came for here tonight. Pretty much didn't really adjust the setup at all. It's Talladega. I didn't practice at all. Talladega and Daytona, I already stressed before that I don't really practice as far as setup goes. Setup really doesn't matter too much. As long as you've got drafting help, you're going to be all right. Ashton G, Shane Pinkney, welcome to the stream as well.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Series visits the famous Talladega Superspeedway today for the Aaron's 499. This is Joe Moore and Barney Hall for MRN, and we're live to bring you all the action. We should be in for quite a show today, Barney.
Let me sum it up for you all. 2.6 miles, 4 lanes, 190 miles an hour. Just doesn't get much better. Let's just hope these guys can stay out of the big one.
Terry Labonte sure turned things around last week with a win.
That win last week sure gave them back their confidence as a team. They had just been needing that after a bad race they had.
I wouldn't say it was a bad race at Texas. We finished 14th. It wasn't a good finish, but it was an all-right race.
He has not had the success in Winston Cup that was expected from him. But that entire team is looking to turn that around this year and get back to the elite of NASCAR teams.
Greg Biffle won the Ray Vestas Rookie of the Year award in the NASCAR Busch Series in 2001. He started all 33 races that year and posted 5 wins.
Engines are fired as we get set for the Aaron's 499 today at Talladega as we support our sponsors, Cheez-It. So hopefully we can get a lot better finish than what we did at Texas. Start things off at the front row. No surprise. Look who's starting on the front row. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip. Both of those drivers know how to win here at Talladega. Both in DEI cars as well. DEI as a whole organization always ran well when it came to these super speedway races. Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart will be in row number 2. Harvick on the inside, Stewart on the outside. In row number 3, it'll be a couple of Hendrick Chevrolets of Jimmy Johnson and Terry Labonte. Labonte won 2 races ago at Bristol. Jeff Gordon and Joe Nemechek, the next 2 Chevrolets for Hendrick Motorsports, will be in row number 4. Nemechek had a good top 3 finish back in the Daytona 500 this year. Mark Martin and Robbie Gordon will be in row 5. In row number 6, it'll be Jeff Burton and Jerry Nadeau. Nadeau has a heated rivalry after the last race there with the driver that we are racing as of Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett will be in row 7. Labonte had a very tough effort yesterday, 2 days ago at Texas, DNFing there with an engine failure midway through the race. Johnny Benson and Matt Kenseth will be in row number 8. And row number 9, it'll be Rusty Wallace and Elliott Sadler. Sadler's been known for a couple of really bad accidents here in the mid to early 2000s at Talladega. Hopefully that doesn't happen for him today. Mike Skinner and Brett Bodine will be in row 10. Bodine, a one-time winner on the season. Remember, he won at Vegas when the finishing order got randomized due to us DNFing 13 laps into the race. Ricky Rudd and Bill Elliott will be in row number 11. And row number 12, it'll be Ken Schrader and Ward Burton. In row number 13, it'll be Casey Mears and Jeff Green. Green qualified a lot further back in the pack compared to his 2 DEI teammates. We'll see if he'll be able to join him by the end of the day. He ran well in the super speedways in Season 1 of NASCAR Thunder 04. Steve Park and Jeremy Mayfield will be in row 14. And row number 15, it'll be Kenny Wallace and Hermie Sadler. For Kenny Wallace, not a great qualifying effort compared to what he has been running most of the year, so maybe he can tune things up in the race today at Dega. Jack Sprague and Kyle Petty will be in row number 16. 2 rookies behind them in row 17 of Ashton Lewis and Greg Biffle. And row number 18, another rookie on the inside of David Green, and a young gun, but not a rookie on the outside of him of Kurt Busch. Back in row number 19, it'll be Sterling Marlin and Ryan Newman. Marlin's won on super speedways multiple times in his career. Same with Ryan Newman, but for Newman's sake, maybe not the best of luck here at Talladega for the most part. We'll see if he can turn that around today. Ricky Craven and Jamie McMurray will be in row 20. Craven won the Daytona 500 earlier this season. The only other points race we had on a restrictor plate racetrack. And Christian Fittipaldi, Kevin LePage will be in row 21. And row 22 rounding out the field, it will be Kevin Grubb here in today's race. This is going to be a lot of fun here in this one. Without further ado, 500 miles is about to begin. Green flag is in the air at Talladega Superspeedway. A ton of Chevrolets up towards the front of the field. The top 8, all Chevys in qualifying. 4 of them Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets. Then you have 1 RCR, 2 DEI cars, and 1 Joe Gibbs Racing Chevrolet as well towards the front of the field before you had Mark Martin qualify in 9th. It's going to be a race to try and lead as many laps as you possibly can. Oh boy, Harvick tried to pull a block as Labonte was looking to make it 4 wide. Instead, he goes 3 wide up the middle. Labonte trying to draft with Tony Stewart right now, almost making contact in the center of turns 3 and 4 with his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Sounded like there was a little contact behind as they go 3x3 off of turn 4. The top 3 just kind of pulling away slightly. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lead lap 1 at Talladega here today. And yes, indeed, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every day. Labonte got a great run going into turn 1. Clears Michael Waltrip for position. Now trying to go after Tony Stewart, perhaps. Almost feels like this car's a little too loose. Again, didn't practice. We did qualify for today's race. Again, qualified 6th. Junior hops down to the inside, trying to block the run Labonte's got. Labonte up to 2nd place, passing Tony Stewart. Is Dale Jr. going to lead lap 2, or is Labonte going to be able to slingshot past him down this long front stretch? All the way to the inside goes Labonte. clears Dale Jr. in the tri-oval. Labonte to lead lap 2 and score himself 5 bonus points. Ethan, welcome to the stream. So 2 lead changes, 2 different leaders in the first 2 laps. Both Chevrolets, both 2 different teams within the Chevrolet manufacturer. Do other games like I have gotten a lot of like Wreckfest and F1 2020 mentions, but I really do want to keep this a NASCAR-oriented channel. I do too much stuff when it comes to like NASCAR mid-season that once we start doing the predictions with the Fantasy Live, and there will be a lot better editing come season 2 of that this coming NASCAR season. So I think those will be a lot higher quality for what I have planned there. So it'll probably take me, with the way my work week works, about a couple days to edit. So I'll definitely, when the season ramps back up again, we'll have even more content, trust me. But as of right now, obviously with the off season's a little bit slower. Just gotta take with what we can get right now. I appreciate the suggestions, for sure. Yeah, I do play NASCAR Heat 5 on PS4. So I just want to mention a couple laps ago that the back of the lead pack at the time kind of broke apart. You see all these cars in this giant lead pack, and then you have a huge gap to what looks to be on the track map of about 10, 15 cars maybe. Maybe all hanging back there. Intentionally or unintentionally, one way or another, they are back there as Labonte is trying to lead as many laps as he can in the very beginning of this race today. Yeah, you can friend me on PS4. Yeah, I don't mind sending friend requests. I won't get to anything like outside of like what we do on the channel, but it doesn't bother me that people send friend requests. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Stewart doesn't have a lot of drafting help with him, trying to help him get around right now. Get around the race leader, I should say. Share draft is the key here with these EA Sports games on the super speedways, that is for sure. Johnson to the inside of Stewart off of turn 4. Junior. Kevin Harvick just behind him. Jeff Burton trying to get into the mix as well back there in 6th on the inside lane. 2 and 3 wide through the tri-oval again through the front half of the field. Labonte's definitely showing some speed here early on. Led all but the first lap despite starting in 6th place. Yeah, I probably won't see it until tomorrow, obviously, because we're playing this game tonight, so I won't even be on my PS4 at all tonight. I'll tell you what, I had a headache when I was, like, at work, and then I kind of felt it, and then once I got home, it started clearing up, and luckily now it's not bothering me at all. I didn't even take anything for it. I was kind of, it might have been from wearing my mask, honestly. It was due for a wash, so I had to take care of that when I got home. So that was probably some of it, but glad I don't have a headache, because I knew we were going to have a 500-mile race tonight, and that was not going to be fun doing this race with a headache. I will get a PS5 eventually, but I don't plan on getting one within the next few months at least. I want to get one before the next NASCAR game comes out, assuming it's for PS5, but no, or I should say I don't plan on getting it up until that point. I'll probably order it like a month in advance, and by that time I should be able to get it, I would think, because I don't think there's going to be a NASCAR game coming out until at least July. If not, it might not be till like September again, honestly. That's the way it was up until NASCAR Heat 5. They were always coming out with the NASCAR Heat Series races back in, like right at the start of the chase or the playoffs. It would be like right around early September, but last year they released it a couple months early, which obviously you can tell it was rushed because, I mean, look at the look at the outcome with it, with how many bugs and crashes it has, just with the game itself. Well, it wouldn't be called NASCAR Heat 6. They've already dropped like the Heat like name or whatever. It'll probably be like NASCAR 2021 or NASCAR 21 or something like that. I don't know, whatever other name they end up coming up with, but you guys get the point. It's still 704 games. A little help for Labonte with a teammate right behind him of Jimmy Johnson. Again, Dale Jr. up here as well. We saw a lot of the heavy favorites in the Daytona 500 earlier this year have engine failures. Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, a couple of those guys. Those are some of the stronger cars you can see here on this video game in particular. But they were out of the race early on with engine failure, so it'll be interesting to see how that will be the case here today and how these engines hold up over another 500-mile race. Back-to-back, might I add, because remember at Texas, we're just coming off a 500-miler 2 days ago on this very game on the channel. Cap24, welcome to the stream. Car on the inside. Johnson got a huge run on Labonte. Gets alongside of him off of turn 2. Labonte got a little loose. Stays in the gas. He's still able to clear Johnson. 3 wide now for about third place on back. Kenseth tries to pull that inside lane down by the yellow line. Jeff Burton's on the outside behind Junior. Look at him going and jockeying for position. Burt now pulls a block on Johnson. Tries to get another push to the back of the 8 of Junior. Junior's got to run off of turn 4. Labonte blocks him. Here comes Kenseth on the inside with Jeff Gordon behind him. Somehow that's Mark Martin who found his way all the way on the inside. Kenseth trying to get a run on the outside. Kenseth ran really well in the Daytona 500 earlier this season as well, and really throughout Speed Weeks as a whole. Labonte ran well in Speed Weeks. He finished 9th in the Daytona 500. That's his only top 10 in which he has not won a race. Again, he's only got 2 top 10s in the first 7 races, so it's been a struggle this season for Labonte for sure. Luck has not been on his side. But knowing that Daytona was that one other top 10 that was not his win at Bristol a couple races ago, had a lot of high hopes coming into this race today. A lot of high hopes that he can lead a lot of laps, especially after qualifying, knowing he qualified 6th. He was going to have a pretty decent car as far as speed goes, not including the draft. Labonte's done a perfect job right now. Johnson got alongside of him, but he couldn't get around him. Labonte got a great push from Junior at the time off of turn 2 on the outside. Junior trying to block Kenseth now. Who knows? Maybe we can have a lot better luck for our sponsor Cheez-It on the car tonight. I say our sponsor, not Terry Labonte's sponsor, because we're going all in with the on the Cheez-It bandwagon here. Just like we did at Texas a couple nights ago. We got the hat, we got the primary sponsor on the hood. We've got the packet of Cheez-Its ourselves. Kenseth, meanwhile, takes second place away from Dale Jr. Lap 14 already. These guys can go about 40 laps at maximum on fuel. I don't think they can quite go that far, because that's about as far as they could go at Daytona. Pit window tonight, probably going to be anywhere between 34 to 39 laps, I'd have to imagine. Anywhere within that range. I don't think anybody's going to go any further than 39 laps. And I don't think we're going to see anybody pit any sooner than 33 or 34 laps into a run. Going to see a lot of two-tire strategies. That's what Labonte was able to pull off in the 500. It worked for him for the most part. He's going to be on top of it with his adjustments, so that was one thing he lacked. Him and his crew, they lacked trying to make adjustments when taking 2 tire stops, and obviously it, costed him with the handling of the race car because he ended up eventually being involved in the big one that he kind of started when he got loose in the tri-oval at Daytona. Not as much banking in the tri-oval here at Talladega, but that almost makes it worse if you think about it. Car probably has a lot better chance of getting a lot lighter than what it would at Daytona. It's a little bit wider, though, as well. Canadian Bacon, welcome to the stream. Bonnie's just controlling both lanes right now, trying to lead as many laps as he can so he can eventually end up leading the most laps by the end of the race. So you got to lead every lap you can, given the opportunity. You guys know how quickly you can go back in traffic here at Talladega. The car almost means a little bit more, though, in the Gen 4 era when it comes to racing at Daytona and Talladega. A lot of it, though, is the racetrack itself, with it being a lot bumpier. And that's why the cars seem to matter a little bit more than what you would see nowadays at Daytona or Talladega. I really do think the repave has a lot to do with it. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Harvick all over the back of Kenseth. Kenseth pulls down to the inside in front of Junior. Had the space to do it. Harvick now has a run on the outside of Kenseth. Kenseth tries to pull up in front of him. A late block on Kevin Harvick by Matt Kenseth as he holds on to second barely. Kenseth again trying to get a good push through the tri-oval, but Labonte again able to block it. Labonte's already led 15 laps today, all but the first lap. And Ricky Rudd's coming through the pack, and we know the history between Rudd and Labonte. Labonte wants payback at Rudd, but at the same time, Rudd will be looking to take Labonte out if given the opportunity. So things could get very interesting here in front of the pack at Talladega very shortly. Dale Jr. up the middle! What a move! Harvick drove it in really deep into turn 3. He kind of clipped the apron. Jr. wanted to go 3 wide up the middle. Here comes Rudd now on the outside behind Kenseth. What a gutsy move by Dale Jr. early in the race. You see it all transpiring out of the rearview mirror. Johnson with a huge run, and he's going to take the lead off of turn 2. Oh boy, Rudd is pulling ever so closer to the back of Labonte's car. Johnson did not lead a lap. He took the lead for about a half a lap, but Labonte takes it back into turn 3. Got a huge pole in the draft. Labonte needed to take it when he had the opportunity because Ricky Rudd is coming on that inside lane. And Labonte's trying to get away from him. Uh-oh, Rudd to the inside. He takes a swing at Labonte in the center of the corner. Labonte barely keeps it off the wall, and we stay green. Rudd lost huge momentum, a dangerous spot as he got to the inside. And Labonte, meanwhile, still holds on to the lead. Look at how far back that pack is now. From about 4th on back, the top 3 were able to keep it going. I am just very surprised. Labonte even kept it off the wall after that hit the center of the corner. Now Kenseth trying to take his first lead of the night. And he clears Labonte barely. Labonte trying to get him back. Going off into turn 3. He's got a chance. Man, that 5 car's really strong tonight. And he pulls up and clears Kenseth. Caution! There's got to be a huge wreck somewhere on the racetrack. Caution's out for the first time at lap 21. They're going to race back to the caution flag as they all jockey for position. Rusty Wallace trying to get run on the outside. Kenseth on the bottom in line behind Terry Labonte. Off of turn 4 now. Labonte up high to block. Wallace's run fails. Kenseth up to block. Wallace line followed by Kenseth. And it was too close to call from third on back. But caution's out for the first time today. Christian Fittipaldi with a single car spin in turns 3 and 4. It didn't look like he had any help. He just lost control. And luckily he was at the back of the pack. Nobody else was involved. So a single car spin will bring out our first caution of the night at lap 21. And Labonte's going to pit. I'm not sure if anybody else is going to. And everybody else is going to stay out. We're about halfway through the fuel run. It'll be a 4-tire stop for Labonte and his crew. No damage for repair. 4 tires, full tank of fuel, no adjustments. I think now's a good time to crack open the packet of Cheez-Its. Sponsor. Unpaid sponsor of the program tonight. We're doing Cheez-It proud. Green flag back in the air. Christian Fittipaldi. Also hit pit road there with Terry Labonte. That maybe wasn't the wisest decision. Now I got like food in my teeth. Alright. At least I have my water. So Labonte gave up a lot of track position. We're going to see him try to slice and dice his way through it. Wow, Ryan Newman's still at the back. Labonte wants to go quick. This pack could get spaced apart pretty quickly here in this game. Really with the Gen 4 cars in general. Also being at the back when everything's congested together on a restart like this. You have to have your eyes peeled at all moments. Now, Labonte does have the fresher tires, so the car control is going to be there for him compared to everybody else. And he's already got a bad, fast race car. Oh, what a move. Just getting to the outside of Brett Bodine there. Trying to get to the inside of the 0 of Sprague. He's going to get there 3 wide now underneath Skinner as well. Sprague pulls up in front of Skinner. So does Labonte. Labonte continues to try and find a tango partner. We're definitely getting back at Ricky Rudd at some point whenever we get an opportunity. No guarantees it's going to happen tonight, knowing it's Talladega. But we're going to definitely try to steer clear of him if we can. Him and Nadu. We are full focused on trying to get the win tonight. Big run to the outside for Labonte down the backstretch on Jack Sprague. He had to get around him fast. They were starting to lose the pack. Sprague just wasn't fast enough to sit behind. And look at the run Terry Labonte's got going off into turns 3 and 4. We'll get by Kenny Wallace now. Trying to draft off of the 41 of Casey Mears. Now, with Labonte pitting, he can actually stay out a lot longer than everybody else. Look at Mears with that block on Labonte. Saw he had a huge run and tried to jump in front of him, and he definitely pulled down. At least it wasn't a late block, and he was definitely clear. That's one thing. Like, blocking is just the nature of this racetrack. But you better make sure you're clear when you do it. If not, that's where you typically see the big accidents. 3 wide. Oh, 4 wide. Oh, my goodness. No room for Labonte. Low contact with Ricky Craven. They were nearly 4 wide going into turn 3. Labonte's all right. Minimal damage to him and Ricky Craven as they keep it going. I don't know how they made it out of that without a major accident. But nonetheless, they did. And Labonte continues to try to draft with the Daytona 500 champion of Ricky Craven, who's running mid-pack, if not a little worse than that, here today at Talladega. Hopefully they didn't lose too much momentum and split these packs apart. Look at the run Labonte's got to the inside of Craven. That was a big move. But he got around him. He's going to pull him pretty quickly here, too, as he's getting the draft off the 41 of Casey Mears. Mears had a really good Daytona 500 as well. Mears has had a couple good runs this year. The 500, he had a top 10. He also had a top 10 back at Darlington as well. Strong start to Casey Mears' rookie campaign. Labonte will clear Mears. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to break up those Chip Ganassi cars and try to hop in line there behind Casey. Or sorry, not behind Casey, but in front of Casey and behind Jamie McMurray, as he just did. He's got to make sure McMurray doesn't leave him. McMurray's not close enough to get a draft off the bigger pack up ahead, though. Problem is, McMurray's trying to run the outside right now, and that's not where Labonte wants him to run. Wants him to run the inside, but he's just not doing it. Luckily, Labonte's got a pretty decent handling race car. Man, Labonte's all over the back of McMurray right now. It's where you can definitely build allies at this kind of a racetrack, that is for sure, and that is the friendship that McMurray and Labonte are growing right now. Thanks on that Blaney flag, by the way. I'm trying to stay in line with McMurray at the same time I'm trying to look at the chat right now. It's really hard with him running the outside. They're not far off the lead. There's a pretty big gap, though, in between Labonte and Joe Nemechek, who's leading that second pack now. Almost 2 seconds in between the two packs all of a sudden. Hopefully Labonte didn't leave McMurray too early. Now he's closing in on Jerry Nadeau up here, so he's going to have to be careful. Hopefully, again, Labonte did not make his move too early. He's trying to cling on the back of Ward Burton. Trying to stay with that draft, and McMurray's trying to stay with Terry Labonte meanwhile as well. I will add moderators eventually, but I just don't think we get enough people in the chat right now that I want to add any currently. Labonte with a big pass there on Jerry Nadeau. And Nadeau already just tried to take out Labonte in the center of the corner. Should say more on corner entry. No, here he comes again! Nadeau all over the back of Labonte. And around goes Jerry Nadeau! Labonte turns him. Payback at Talladega. That was a perfect left hook. I don't think anybody else got involved either as they race back to the caution flag up ahead. Labonte was not taking it there with his rival Jerry Nadeau, and he turns him down the back straightaway at Talladega as they race back to the caution flag ahead. Labonte's going to be scored in 22nd.
Okay, time to go. Leader's about 6 seconds ahead.
Would I mod people for free? Yeah, I would mod them for free when the time comes. A spin through the grass on the back straightaway. Pretty harmless on Jerry Nadeau, but the payback probably necessary at that point. Oh, there's one of the two rivals. Cleaned up and out of the way. We're going to see what everybody else does here before Labonte decides whether or not he wants to pit. And he will pit again. It's hard to tell if they were pitting or not. No problem. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel coming for Terry Labonte. I would consider share drafting Nadeau if we get an opportunity to share draft him where we need to, but I'm not going to just share draft him if he's going to slow us down on the outside either. Or try to intentionally wreck us like he did there, but we got him back.
We're starting in the back, so be careful and stay out of trouble.
Labonte was the only car on pit road there, but he's got even fresher tires. Everybody else is going to be pitting soon. We're getting really close to the end of that first pit window. Green flag back in the air. And sure enough, Jerry Nadeau is right there in front of Labonte again at the rear of the field, so this could get pretty interesting. Labonte quickly going to try to get around him. Oh, he can't get the horsepower. Nadeau tries to take him out. And Jerry Nadeau is likely going to lose the draft now. That was just a dumb decision by Jerry Nadeau. What was he thinking there? Right on the restart. Problem is, though, Labonte might lose the draft now also. He's trying to cling on to the back of David Green as much as he can. And luckily, everybody's going to be coming to pit road soon. That was not ideal for Labonte or Nadeau. Nadeau costed himself more than what he costed Labonte, but he costed Labonte too. So 2 cautions on the first 37 laps that are now complete here at Talladega tonight.
Keep hitting those marks. Leaders about 5 seconds ahead.
And Labonte has lost the draft because of that restart where Jerry Nadeau tried to take him out. That's not exactly also how the moderators work. I mean, it's one thing to ask, but I'm not just going to be giving them out willy-nilly when the time comes either. So I kind of made that mistake the first time I went to start modding people. And people were getting upset because they weren't mods. It's honestly the main reason we don't have any right now. Huge pack of cars on pit road. Had about a dozen cars hit pit road that time.
Only 8 seconds back to the leader. Stay hungry.
Man, that's a bummer for Labonte. He lost the draft. The good news is everybody's going to be pitting here. Lap 39, we had our first takers to pit road. Again, those 2 cautions probably saved them a little bit of time on pit road. They'll be able to go maybe 5 laps longer than Labonte on a full green flag run if we get any today. But as of right now, though, this might put a lot of these guys a lap down. I'm not sure where Terry Labonte's going to come out, though. If he can come out with a little bit of drafting help at least, That is going to be huge.
Careful, there's some cars entering the track ahead.
He's going to have at least one driver behind him. Kevin Grubb in the 26. I think the spotter said 22 car. It was obviously the 26 of Kevin Grubb. More takers onto pit road this time. You're going to constantly be seeing drivers pit every lap at this point until the very last driver pits. Now, here's the thing, though. Christian Fittipaldi, he pitted under the first caution. Labonte pitted under both cautions we've had so far. So Fittipaldi's going to be able to go quite a bit longer yet. And he's still currently showing about a second or two ahead of Labonte. So Fittipaldi might be leading quite a few laps here. Oh, jeez. Well, there's Jerry Nadeau. We're gonna try to let him go, and we're gonna try to draft behind him if he catches us. The problem is trying to let him go without losing the draft and without him wrecking us, because he's very well capable of doing both. It'll be difficult. All right, Jeff. Hopefully he can make it back as soon as possible. Expecting a pretty good race today. Obviously, kind of stinks that Labonte lost the draft on the restart there. But again, it wasn't his fault. You blame that on Jerry Nadeau for trying to take out... Well, first he tried to take out Labonte once. Then Labonte turned him down the back straightaway, and Nadeau went spinning through the grass. Unharmed, though. No damage. Nobody else piled in. Nadeau kept it off the wall. Just simple left hook down the back straightaway as Labonte pulled into the outside line. It was intentional. That was after Nadeau tried to take him out a couple corners before. So Labonte shown in second. Christian Fittipaldi has taken the race lead. He's 5 seconds ahead of Labonte, as Fittipaldi's got drafting help and Labonte still doesn't have any. There's one lap car that is catching Labonte on fresher tires who has already came out of the pits. That is Kevin Grubb in the 26. Jerry Nadeau's also back there. He's a little further back. Yeah, your eyes probably need checked. You have pretty blurry vision. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Number 22 is right behind you.
I'm sure these graphics aren't helping you. So Labonte trying to run the outside and let Kevin Grubb get by him. And Labonte will try to draft behind Grubb, who obviously is one of the slower cars. He's got a little bit fresher tires, so that's going to help.
You're clear.
Going to be pretty good allies with Kevin Grubb. These guys are going to be tangoing for quite a while. So in an interesting situation here, Christian Fittipaldi is leading at Talladega. Again, only two drivers have pitted under the first two cautions of the day. Fittipaldi pitted under the first one after he had a single car spin earlier. Nobody else was involved. Fittipaldi was able to save it as he went for a spin in turns 3 and 4. And then Terry Labonte spun Jerry Nadeau to bring out the second caution of the race after Nadeau tried to dump him the corner prior. Not once, but twice. He tried to dump him from behind. The corner before that, he flat out took a swing at him. Ricky Rudd tried to do the same thing earlier, but luckily Labonte was able to drive away at the time. Big Mac the GOAT, welcome to the stream. At least Grubb's at least running the middle lane in the corners. Can appreciate that. On the bottom through the tri-oval? Wow. Kevin Grubb's running that racing line here at Talladega. There's a little bit bigger pack of cars that actually hoist the race leader, Christian Fittipaldi, right now, too. So Labonte's going to try to take the lead away from Fittipaldi as soon as he can. Christian's leading a lot of laps right now. Labonte's led a couple dozen. Obviously, he wants to lead more than that, and hopefully he can clinch the most laps led as soon as he possibly can today. So there we go. That gap that was 5 seconds to Fittipaldi is now down to about 2.5. Labonte's running some pretty quick lap times here, drafting in line behind Kevin Grubb. Labonte's shown to be a pretty good push car. Look at that, plus 100 with Kevin Grubb. Yellows you can make it. Talladega in this game. We've got two rivals in the field. I was hoping to patch that rivalry with at least Jerry Nadeau. I had no intentions of getting payback on him at all, really. But he decided to take a swing at us a couple times, so I figured I'd turn him again. He had it coming. Oh boy, almost hit the wall. Man, they're going 3x3 up there. These guys are trying to get back on the lead lap. Again, Fittipaldi leads. Everybody else seemingly on the lead lap. Except for Jerry Nadeau and then Kevin Grubb, and then anybody that's really racing with Fittipaldi up there in this pack. Fittipaldi leads. Now, Fittipaldi will have to pit about 10 laps before Labonte. So at some point, Labonte will take the lead again during the course of this run.
Just 1 second.
0.8 seconds back now, as we're at lap 50 here today at Talladega. Once again, the Aaron's 499. We're about to have a battle for the lead once again. Big run by Labonte. He's going to get around his ally right there of Kevin Grubb. Hopefully he didn't pass him too soon. He can try to catch this pack of cars. He pulled out a line a little too early earlier in the race. He might have pulled out a line a little too early there. No, I think he's still able to keep up with Biffle. Unfortunately for Kevin Grubb, though, he's going to lose the draft again. Man, it's really tough to tell if Labonte's getting any sort of a draft off Biffle. I think he's slowly reeling him in. Yeah, he definitely is now. Labonte's getting a lot bigger run through 1 and 2. And a massive run down the back straightaway for Terry Labonte. Oh, Biffle tried to pull the block. Slight bit of contact. Again, 3 wide through the middle of the pack. Labonte trying to get to the lead, passing Fittipaldi as soon as he can. I think Fittipaldi is the front car in this pack as well. Well, Labonte working with Greg Biffle right now as well. These guys were rivals at the very beginning of the season, so I had to see that's patched up. At least into neutral. And here comes the run. Labonte 3 wide to the inside. Fittipaldi trying to control the lanes. He's probably going to block Labonte and try to hang on for the lead, I'd have to imagine. Ideally, if Labonte can draft with the lap car and pull ahead of Fittipaldi, that will be his plan. He's going to try to slingshot him for the lead. Through the tri-oval, Labonte takes it away from Christian Fittipaldi to the line, clears him. Terry Labonte back out in front at Talladega at lap 53. So now he's going to try to block the 43 car, keep him from leading laps, now that he's gotten quite a few laps led. And he's going to try to work with a lap car if he can help it, especially knowing those lap cars can stay out a little bit longer as well. Oh boy, that was a late block. Labonte was clear. That's all that matters in the end of it, I guess. Fittipaldi might have cut him a little bit of slack. Buy some Kellogg's. I'll probably get some like Frosted Flakes at some point. Next time we get the Tony the Tiger car back. Maybe I'll buy some mini wheats. We run that sponsor next. I don't know. I'll do something. Mike Skinner's going to get on by. That's what Labonte had planned. He was trying to open up the inside. Skinner got by. Kevin LePage also got by, but Skinner is now the lone car in front of Terry Labonte. He's trying to run the outside, though. That's the problem. Labonte wants him to run the inside. It's just not happening. Now Skinner goes to the bottom. Skinner's trying to make a pass. And the good thing is here for Mike Skinner is that he's staying in the lead lap. So if a caution comes out, pretty good predicament. I'm sure Labonte's going to try to pass him at the last second if a caution comes out. But Skinner might be able to block and hang on. Who knows? That was Jack Sprague that just went a lap down, by the way. And Labonte's really starting to pull away from Christian Fittipaldi. .4 second lead between the top two. 36 seconds back to Kevin Harvick in third. Again, the strategy called for Labonte was to pit under each of the last two cautions, really. And the only other driver that pitted under any of the cautions was Christian Fittipaldi. So that's why they are 1-2. Fittipaldi did pit under the first yellow, not the second. Labonte pitted under both. So he can go 10 laps longer than Fittipaldi can on fuel, and obviously everybody else is taking green flag stops already as it is. Not a lot of them are a lap down, though. And a lot of that was because Labonte lost the draft on the restart when Nadu tried to take him out, cut his momentum off before they even got up to speed. Since Skinner made that pass, though, he's starting to run a racing line in the center of the corner on the inside, so at least they came off the top, and it's really showed because they have really pulled away from everybody else that was in that pack of cars. So we've drafted to plus 100 now on two drivers, Mike Skinner and Kevin Grubb. Good to see. Labonte's going to try to cling on one of these next two drivers coming up ahead. You can't tell who they are from this far away. So that might end up putting Skinner a lap down here pretty soon. Bonnie to the inside of Mike Skinner. I think he's going to be drafted with Brett Bodine next as he gets to the inside of Ashton Lewis as well. When in doubt, take the car on the inside instead of the outside. That's what Labonte's doing. So Skinner's going to go a lap down. He's going to try to cling on to the back of Labonte's car as Labonte drafts with Brett Bodine. I don't know if that's going to work, though. Labonte shouldn't be a pretty solid push car today. He's just got a solid car in general. Five-second lead back to Fittipaldi now. That lead's grown 3 seconds for Labonte over third place of Kevin Harvick as well. Remember, Harvick was 36 seconds off the lead. Now he's 39 seconds off the lead. "60 laps complete." Well, we wondered if Jeff Green could get towards the front. He's up to third, just in front of none other than another DEI driver of Dale Jr. I don't think we're going to get to plus 100 with Brett Bodine, but we're going to get over plus 40. That's pretty good. Who knows, maybe Bodine makes some moves around these guys and we continue to follow them. It's like majority of this group of about 3 or 4 cars is running the outside. Well, we got the plus 50 with Bodine.
Number 11, some of the leaders are coming in together. Still there.
Oh, I think that's Christian. Yeah, it probably is. So Christian Fittipaldi's hitting pit road as we speak. It'll be interesting to see where Fittipaldi ends up cycling out of the pits.
The 11 car is gaining on you. Clear on both sides.
Sadler and Labonte got a huge head of steam on the inside. Sadler blows by both Casey Mears and Ken Schrader, as does Labonte, just following him right through, basically shoving him right on by. Not physically, that's just the way of the draft, and the share draft especially here. We have done online streams. It's been a while since we've done one. We're definitely due for one.
You're clear.
I have to get a Wi-Fi booster so my 5G from where the router is so it can actually connect. That's why we haven't done one in a while, despite my internet being pretty much upgraded for about the last month and a half to 2 months now. Because originally when I upgraded, I wanted to get one out right away. At least one. We'll definitely do one before the season starts back up again. It's just going to be whenever I can get to Best Buy and actually get that Wi-Fi booster. Maybe one of these days after work I'll go up there and maybe on like Friday or something. Get a Wi-Fi booster so maybe we can do something on like Sunday night or something like that. But yeah, you'll just have to kind of be on the lookout for it. Because we do have them every now and then. I didn't see how high the allies were. My PSN name is just Keegan Schneider. Bonnie kind of working with Johnny Benson now. For a short second, at least. Now he's trying to get to the inside of Benson.
Number 10 is still there.
Labonte's getting a draft off Ryan Newman. He's lapping a lot of cars.
The 10th car is still there. Be patient. Clear. Number 10 is looking right. Number 12 is outside.
Newman has been struggling all season long, and that includes this race again here at Talladega today. He has been towards the middle, if not the back of the pack this entire race. I don't know if he's sitting back here just waiting things out. Again, we're still in the first half of the race. He could be waiting for the inevitable big one. Could strike at any moment, running with this pack of cars back here, but it's tough to gauge for sure. Robbie Gordon's been trying to block Terry Labonte. He definitely doesn't want to go a lap down right now. Robbie Gordon's racing hard as Robbie Gordon knows how to do. On full display here at Talladega right now. Massive run in the tri-oval for Terry Labonte as he gets underneath him finally. Oh, Labonte's got a teammate up here of Joe Nemechek. He might try to work with him as he pulls up and clears Robbie Gordon for the moment. A massive run by Labonte. He's just going to get underneath his teammate Nemechek. He'll get on by him. Now try to draft off Jamie McMurray, who's already drafted with earlier in the race today. Once Labonte broke up the couple of Chip Ganassi cars. Labonte's just in full race mode right now, trying to put as many guys a lap down as possible at this point. Look at this run he's got going into 1 and 2. Well, here's Jerry Nadeau sitting back. I don't know how he fell this far behind, but Nadeau looks really, really slow. Nadeau looks off the pace slow right now. So Labonte's going to get around him. Putting him another lap down. He's coming back on the outside, though. Mark Martin's going to pull up and block him. 42-second lead right now for Terry Labonte. But Labonte's going to have to come to pit road pretty soon. Again, the rest of the field is going to be saying now that's where things will cycle through. Mark Martin will get back on the lead lap. Labonte lets him down on the inside to get around him, and now Labonte can draft with Martin. That's possible. I mean, Newman could be waiting for the big one. Warren Burton's probably got a decent car, too, I'd have to imagine. He was sitting back here as well. Joe Nemechek qualified in the top 10. He's back there. And he ran well at Daytona, had a top 5. Casey Mears had a top 10 that day, ran well for most of that race. And he almost won the dual race, too, if I remember correctly. So he's been sitting back here. I'm sure they have fast cars. Terry Labonte, Mark Martin working together. Teammate Jimmy Johnson coming up here. Martin looking low. Martin with a big run underneath Jimmy Johnson going into turn 3. See if Ricky Craven's going to block. Yeah, he really chopped off the nose of Mark Martin's car there. Labonte's going to have to pit in a couple laps anyway, but just in case we get a caution before then, he's going to continue to race these guys here. Martin trying to file himself in line, maybe trying to hang Terry Labonte out to dry. Nope. Great run by Labonte, just getting past Martin. Labonte trying to get to the inside of Ricky Craven in the 32. Didn't get a good enough of a pull, at least, behind Mayfield. Labonte hops in line now behind Craven again down the back straightaway. Got 12 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. A pretty big lead for Terry Labonte for the moment, but he's going to have to come to pit road within a couple laps now to make his green flag pit stop, and everybody else is likely going to be able to stay out at least 5 to 10 laps longer than that. So that's where everything's going to cycle through. Varying pit strategies between Labonte versus the rest of the field. There's a little contact. I think Robbie Gordon might have bounced into the wall off of turn 4, and that kind of jolted everybody else in that pack a little further back. Labonte's only got a half a gallon left, so it looks like he'll be pitting this time by at lap 72. It'll be a second stop of the day, and it will be his first green flag stop of the day. And with a 41-second lead, I think it's going to be right side tires only for Labonte and his crew. Going to draft with Mayfield until he gets onto the front stretch, and then he'll try to go back down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got to make sure nobody gets underneath him, though, running the outside. So he's going to hop down in front of Mark Martin. Mayfield going to hop down to block Labonte, even though Labonte is coming into pit road this time. Oh, that's going to be speeding. No, it wasn't. Wow. He definitely locked up the tires, but somehow Labonte was not speeding onto pit road. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel coming. No damage for repair, and no adjustments. How was Labonte not speeding there? I thought he was going to be speeding for sure, but I guess not. Hopefully he didn't put too much stress on that left front tire locking it up. That was a perfectly timing way to get to pit road, though. Labonte's going to come back up onto the racetrack. So Labonte's going to hold on to the lead with that 2-tire stop. As he continues to lead as many laps as he possibly can here today at Talladega. Goal number 1, clinch the most laps led, and then goal number 2, go for the win. Yeah, so it was a right side tire only stop. To keep the track position at the front of the field, because he didn't have a full lead, or full lap lead on everybody, only about half the cars, so Labonte was trying to make sure he came out with the lead still, taking that 2-tire stop. The left side should make it to the end of the run, as long as he didn't waste them too much. They're still looking pretty good for the most part. And here comes that lead pack of cars very shortly. They're going to be all over the back of Labonte. Labonte's got fresher right sides. Left sides are a little bit older than everybody else's, but then they'll have to come to pit road again within about 5 to 10 laps anyway as well. So they might be going a lap down again anyway. If everybody has the same amount of pit stops at the end of this race, and we somehow stay green for the final 150 plus laps, which would be insane of itself. We've already had 2 cautions today, very early in the race before, again, the first set of pit stops. Haven't had one since. They just went a full fuel run right there. Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Dale Jr. at the front of this pack of about a dozen cars, maybe a little less than a dozen. Marlin up to second place, Labonte to block down the back straightaway now. Gordon now to the inside of Marlin for second, and he might be going for the lead here before long. He's got a good run. He's got Dale Jr. right behind him. And now Labonte to the inside to block his teammate Gordon. Bobby Labonte up in the front of the field as well. Bounce back performance after a tough 42nd place finish after a DNF just about 100 laps into the race at Texas. Labonte coming down pit road. Actually, there was a lot of cars that pitted the lap before as well. So a lot of drivers in the pits right now. These guys are going 3 wide. Oh, man, Marlin almost ran into the back of Jimmy Johnson. He checked up. Look how much ground Marlin lost. He thought he was going to drill Johnson from behind in the center of the corner. Luckily, he didn't. We've seen that happen before here at Talladega. Back in Season 1, we saw a couple accidents, really bad accidents too, where lap cars trying to come back up onto the racetrack in the middle of 1 and 2 just get drilled by cars going full speed at 190 miles an hour. One of the times they were in a big pack and we saw multiple cars flip. So don't be surprised if that happens under a green flag run here. Labonte continues to try and hold on to the lead. Now it's Bill Elliott and Jeff Gordon down on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, there's Ricky Rudd. Labonte just upstairs to block Elliott. Tony Stewart still in the lead pack as well. Kurt Busch just up ahead. Labonte might be able to draft with Kurt Busch, who just came out of the pits, I believe. Oh, he might give up the lead to Bill Elliott, but I think Elliott's coming to pit road anyway. Yes, he will, so Bill will not lead his first lap. Gordon's trying to lead a lap, though. He stays out of the pits. Tony Stewart comes to pit road with Bill Elliott. Labonte holds on to the lead. And no, Tony Stewart stayed out, too. Surprised. Labonte continues to try and draft with Kurt Busch. Yeah, we slowed it down enough, but it was definitely close, that's for sure. We were very close to speeding. And again, hopefully that left front can make it this entire run. It would have been able to before, but we really locked the tires trying to make sure we weren't going to speed onto pit road. It was just a perfect job as far as trying to gas it up as much as he could until coming into the pits. Terry Labonte going to put Kurt Busch a lap down. Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte up here. 3 wide goes Terry Labonte underneath Michael Waltrip. Makes the pass on him and Dale Jr. to put both of those guys a lap down. Some strong cars, too. He's going to let Waltrip back around him and try to draft him to get to Bobby Labonte, it looks like. Well, maybe. I only thought about it. Oh, trouble! Car in the air! Multiple cars in the air! Somebody just ran into the back of a lap car. Right out of the rearview mirror of Labonte's car, a huge crash. As they race back to the line, there are so many drivers that are going to get trapped a lap down. Marlin just goes a lap down as he gets up to speed. That was a terrible crash. Oh my goodness. I think he flew into the catch fence on the outside in turns 1 and 2. So Labonte's going to try to trap Waltrip a lap down now. Waltrip tries to get back on the lead lap as they race back to the line. So many drivers are going to get held a lap down here today at Talladega. Labonte continues to block Waltrip. Late block there in the tri-oval. Lap 80, our third caution of the day. And the big one has stricken for the first time at Talladega. Kurt Busch drilled. Absolutely drilled Steve Park. He didn't get into the catch fence, but he barrel rolled into the outside wall. Dale Jr. got a piece of the accident as well. Even the left side of Kurt Busch's car was caved in quite a bit there. Labonte's going to hit pit road. Might as well. He's not the only one on the lead lap, so there's still going to be a lot of drivers a lap down. It'll be 4-tire stop, full tank of fuel, and damage will be repaired again for Labonte. The big one at Talladega, only 3 cars, but Kurt Busch goes airborne. Chance to change those left side tires now for Labonte. They'll probably lose the lead, but again, there were a lot of guys a lap down, so he should be in decent shape.
Most of the field stayed out that time, so there will be a lot of cars.
Mark Martin, Kevin LePage also came to pit road. Topping off on fuel perhaps as well. So a lot of these cars are going to line up ahead. Terry Labonte will line up in 16th. Green flag back in the air. We might see some debris cautions after that accident. I would not be surprised. Luckily for Terry Labonte, he doesn't have any rivals around him that's going to check him up. And he should be able to stay with the draft on the restart. He's got some help from behind as well. Mark Martin's right on his back bumper. Looks to the inside of Bobby Labonte here. Labonte looks like he's had some contact today. Bobby, that is. Got some donuts on the left side of his race car. Now, if a caution comes out and these guys are ahead of Terry Labonte, well, I guess Labonte's not the leader. Whoever the leader is, if they can race their way around him. Oh, boy. Christian Fittipaldi almost got squeezed by Tony Stewart off of turn 4. They're 4 wide in the tri-oval. 4 wide on NASCAR Thunder 04. Never good. There's not a lot of room here for Terry Labonte. Bill Elliott kind of crowding him a little bit. Now they're 3 wide as they file back into line. We're only 10 laps away from the halfway mark here today at Talladega. Biffle trying to block. Not sure who's for position, who isn't at this point. Biffle's not for position, neither is Kenny Wallace. Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott are. Pass for position there. Labonte gets around Elliott. Bobby Gordon stuck behind Jamie McMurray. Casey Mears to the inside of him, taking it 3 wide with Labonte on the bottom. Labonte gets around a couple more cars. None of them for position, though. Now in line behind Ward Burton. Look at Jeff Gordon slicing and dicing through this pack, too. Labonte's been slicing and dicing through. Gordon's been ahead of him by a couple car lengths the whole time. Labonte's just not close enough to follow him, at least. I'm sure he'd like to follow his teammate if he could. There's a big checkup in the center of turns 3 and 4 here. I don't know who's holding them up, but somebody's holding up this pack of cars. And Ricky Rudd's right in the middle of it. So Labonte's going to have to be careful when he gets around Rudd. He might try to give him payback if he gets an opportunity. We've already seen one big one here today, and we might intentionally see another one if Labonte can get on the back bumper of Rudd. Because he knows Rudd's already tried to turn him from behind, so even if Labonte gets around him, Ricky might still try to run right in the back of him. Big run up the middle. 3 wide up the middle for Labonte, in between Johnny Benson, Jeremy Mayfield, following his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Car trying to block in the middle lane. That was Dale Jarrett. Jerry Nadeau's at the front of this pack, too. lot of guys have been running the high side today. I've noticed that just with this game on the super speedways in general, a lot of guys typically tend to run the outside. Oh man, look at that move. Another tight one up the middle. 3 wide in the middle. Labonte right behind a rival of Ricky Rudd. Wow, look at the run by Gordon on the inside. The problem is Labonte doesn't want to get to the inside of Rudd because Rudd's going to take a swing at him. And they were 3 wide right there with Gordon on the inside. That would not have been a very good situation. Ward Burton with the block. Oh, Bill Elliott just slid into Terry Labonte. Accidentally off of turn 4. They make minimal contact, but at these speeds, I don't think anything's minimal contact. Sadler gets into Ricky Rudd. In the tri-oval, Sadler got pinched into the wall by Rudd. Contact on the bottom of the racetrack. Labonte scraped the wall a little bit too, trying to check up behind those guys. So we had a giant pack of cars all lined up, and we about had another accident. Labonte's kind of lost touch of these guys now. He's going to try to let Kevin Grubb go on the outside and maybe draft behind him. Ward Burton going to get on by as well. See if Ward Burton can get around Kevin Grubb at all here. Turns 1 and 2. Man, Grubb is really trying to block Burton. Burton jumped to the bottom. He's got help from behind. Labonte wants to follow him.
Be careful, buddy. He's really down. One good smack will change his mind real quick. Number 22, it's up high. In place. Okay.
Whoever the leader is checking out. I don't know if he's got drafting help or not. I would imagine he does. Well, the race leader is checking out on everybody right now. So again, we are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark. Two rivals right in front of Labonte. He wants to get payback at Ricky Rudd if he can get it. Jerry Nadeau, he's just trying to steer clear. He's already gotten his payback on Nadeau. Ward Burton kind of checked up behind his brother, Jeff. Labonte's just going to move right on by Ward. Trying to get a good draft off the back of Jeff Burton right now, too. Big run to the inside of Jeff Burton. Burton trying to block Labonte towards the yellow line. Back into the top 10 goes Terry Labonte, meanwhile. Now trying to draft Ryan Newman in the 12. Well, things might get a little interesting here. Labonte wants to pass Jerry Nadeau. Nadeau tries to take a swing. Look at that. Nadeau tried to turn Terry Labonte in the middle of the pack in turns 1 and 2, and he just about did it. Labonte stays in the gas, finally clears him. He's got a buffer car as well of Jeff Burton in the way. Problem is, it costed Labonte any sort of shot. Oh boy, here comes Nadeau again. Labonte's trying to get away from him before things get ugly again. About 6 seconds off the lead. And he's already about 1.5 seconds behind this lead pack ahead of him. Terry Labonte trying to run the outside in 1 and 2. Trying to let somebody get in front of him here. Out of this pack of cars behind him. Whoever it is, he'll draft with them. Maybe Jeff Burton will try it. No, Burton stays on the outside. Tony Stewart's coming up the inside lane. Mark Martin behind him. He wants to file in line behind somebody. That's the second time that Jerry Nadeau has tried to wipe out Terry Labonte. First time it was on a restart. That time it was in the middle of a pack. Middle of the green flag run. And both times it caused Labonte and whoever else is behind him to lose the draft of the lead pack. Better than getting involved in a giant accident, that's for sure. Nobody has tried to pass Terry Labonte on the inside yet. Well, I mean, I guess the two Joe Gibbs racing cars tried to, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. Mark Martin was down there as well, but nobody's able to get a run on him, though. That's the thing. It almost looks like this pack of cars is almost starting to catch this lead pack all of a sudden. Which is pretty impressive. Probably why nobody's able to get around Labonte is because he's actually getting a really good pace on the outside somehow. Jeff Burton staying pretty consistent behind Terry Labonte too. Maybe Jeff Burton share drafting Terry Labonte. Oh, contact off of turn 4 up at. Oh, they're checking up. They're checking up big time. A big time check up off of turn 4. Stalling out more of the lead pack. That will move Labonte up to 7th. Just past the halfway mark today at Talladega. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craven was in that pack. Bill Elliott. Shane Jones, welcome to the stream. Problem is now there's no drafting help for Terry Labonte once again. He's got Bill Elliott behind him. There's another lap car not too much further ahead of Terry Labonte as well. Maybe he can catch him. Either he's going to catch the car ahead of him or Bill Elliott's going to catch him first. Either or. Whoever gets caught first, if at all, is who Terry Labonte's going to end up drafting with. Also, draft's better. Yes, it is, especially while we're still in the top 10. Because that definitely got clogged off at turn 4, and Labonte was back far enough behind that pack, still trying to catch him in hot pursuit that he was able to miss everybody to the inside. Again, there were about 4 or 5 cars that kind of log-jammed at the front of the pack. And Labonte and Bill Elliott were just kind of able to avoid it. Labonte got checked up too, I think, with it. Or sorry, not Labonte, but Bill Elliott got checked up with it. But he didn't lose as much ground as the rest of them. They're starting to reel Elliott and Labonte back in anyway. These guys are too spaced apart. You got a pack of a dozen cars, probably even, well more than a dozen cars, starting to catch right back up again. Exactly. You could be 20th going into the final lap at Talladega and still have a shot to win. You never know if the big one's going to strike. We've already had one of them strike. It was only a 3-car accident. Kurt Busch went airborne, though, ran into the back of a lap car coming off of pit road. That lap car was Steve Park. And as Kurt Busch torpedoed up the racetrack into the outside wall, Dale Jr. also caught a piece of it with his left front, hitting Kurt Busch while he was flipping. Currently at lap 100, that was the last caution. That was at lap 80. And what do you know, Kurt Busch is the lone car ahead of Terry Labonte here. How the heck is Kurt Busch doing this? And meanwhile, rival from behind, Ricky Rudd, is coming after Terry Labonte. So Labonte needs to get going here, and hopefully Kurt Busch has some sort of speed. But after flipping earlier, I would have to imagine the speed is pretty much all but gone for Kurt Busch. Bill Elliott's got to run on the inside. Oh, big swing! Ricky Rudd just put Terry Labonte in the wall off of turn 4. Mentioned he was chasing him down. Talk about log jamming the pack. Labonte got stuck on the outside behind Kurt Busch. Elliott got to the bottom, so he couldn't get out of the way. And Ricky Rudd just shot Terry Labonte into the wall off of turn 4. We stayed green, but again, right as that pack was starting to build up momentum again, they just get log jammed a second time off of turn 4. Again, if Labonte gets a chance at payback, he will try to get it at Ricky Rudd. That is the second time he has tried to wipe him out. That time it was a lot more violent. Actually, that's the third time. He tried to turn him from behind earlier, a lap after he tried to door check him, and that time he put him flat out in the wall, which is about what he did earlier, but luckily Labonte kept it off the wall. There was no keeping it off the wall that time. Labonte trying to draft with Jeremy Mayfield. And Labonte wants a piece of Ricky Rudd. Tempers flaring at Talladega. That's never a good track to have that happen. But in a video game, I don't think anybody cares. Obviously, Ricky Rudd doesn't care. Things could get heated here very soon. I don't know when these guys got to pit. Labonte pitted under that last caution. So did Kevin LePage and Mark Martin. Oh, Kurt Busch is running really slow. Labonte to the inside of Jeremy Mayfield. Somebody's coming out of the pits. It might be the start of pit stops. Kurt Busch still has a ton of damage. Oh, it's Christian Fittipaldi. That's right. He's on a different pit strategy as well. So Fittipaldi pitted by himself. He's now a lap down. Kurt Busch still has decent speed. He doesn't have a lot of single car speed, but as Labonte's pushing him, they're still gaining a little bit of time. That is just impressive, despite the fact Kurt Busch already flipped today. Unbelievable. I guess Labonte flipped in the last race and finished 14th. Well, there's Ricky Rudd. See if Kurt tries to make a move to the inside of him. Maybe Rudd's going to block. I'm not sure.
Number 21 isn't going to let you by easily.
Well, here we go. Labonte trying to get a big run down the back straightaway. He's definitely got a big run. Oh, man. Well, he tried to turn him. What a save by Ricky Rudd going into turn 3. He was pointed towards the outside wall there for a second. He saved it on the inside of the racetrack as they got bumpers aligned right. Labonte wants to turn him.
Number 21 is attempting a block.
Labonte's trying to draft with him and get him out ahead of this pack at least. He's going to try to turn him the way he turned Nadu for payback earlier. Big run, crossing over. I don't know why he's not going around. That is unbelievable. How in the heck is Ricky Rudd not spinning out? That was the second time he saved it. That time he just put on the brakes and just kind of brake checked Terry Labonte. And that just allowed like 5 cars to pass on the outside, as they're probably wondering what the heck's going on between the 5 and the 21.
Number 25 is up back. Number 21 is blocking. You're clear.
Lap 106.
The 20 car is inside.
Bonnie's not going to let Rudd get away that easy.
Wants to get by you. All clear.
This is payback with a couple races in the making, might I add.
The 21 car.
Oh, Stewart just slid up right in between
Number 18 now low. Okay, we're clear.
Terry Labonte and Ricky Rudd. Now Terry's going to draft with his brother Bobby on the inside. Surprised Bobby didn't go with Stewart. Granted, Stewart fit into a hole that Labonte wasn't going to be able to follow him up on the outside as well.
21 is blowing a block on you.
Stewart wiggled a little bit off of turn 4.
Going inside.
Rudd almost slid into the wall
That's one more day.
in the tri-oval as Stewart was trying to side draft him. They definitely got close to making contact, that's for sure.
21 car isn't going to let you by easily. On your line. He's still there.
And Ricky Rudd's just holding up Labonte too. I mean, look at all these cars passing to the inside. Might be a move to go 4 wide.
I'd be real surprised if he don't try something.
Oh, Bobby's not giving his brother any room on the bottom. Contact. Rudd is in there too.
Surprised if he pays you back for that. Number 21 is looking hot. They're all around.
And Ricky Rudd is now all of a sudden lined up behind Terry Labonte.
The 21 car
What the heck? This is insane. These guys do not like each other.
clear. Number 25 now low. They're on both sides. Got one eye. Number 21
Jeez.
made some contact.
That's all right. We're settling this. We got. We're gonna settle the score one way or another here. This is ridiculous.
All clear, buddy.
Labonte and Rudd are at each other's throats right now. Oh, we got trouble off of turn 4. Huge line of smoke. I don't think anybody can see. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, we're clear.
There's some heavy damage on Labonte's car, despite the fact that Rudd's taken about 3 or 4 swings at him already. I look at how far the race leader is ahead of Terry Labonte now.
Now low.
And how Labonte split 3 wide in the middle.
Going steady. 3-1.
Jamie McMurray, Kenny Wallace get around him. Kenny Schrader's getting around.
You're clear. The 23 car is down low.
Look at Ricky Rudd and how slow he is. I don't know if he's intentionally sitting back to let Labonte
21 car
and him settle the score here.
around him. Still beside
They both tried to turn each other multiple times.
Still there.
3 wide, right in the middle of the pack. Labonte squeezing
Still there.
back to the outside now, in line behind Rudd. Kenny Wallace, Ken Schrader, Brett Bodine in the mix.
Trying to block. They're all around.
Be careful. Fuel's getting low.
Pretty low on fuel.
Off high. Still beside you. Careful.
Labonte trying to get to Ricky Rudd.
You're clear.
Kenny Wallace is in the way now as he's trying to block Terry Labonte. We're going to have some innocent bystanders if one of these two are able to hook one another. Because there are other cars trying to block that either don't know what's going on with the 2 drivers, or they're just trying to break it up. I really don't know. The tempers have more than flared already at this point at Talladega. over the last dozen laps or so. Labonte's got to run on Ricky Rudd, but he just can't quite get to the corner panel.
The 21 car trying to block you. The 23 car at 11. All clear, buddy.
Kenny Wallace just drove right on by Terry Labonte. How much momentum Terry lost somehow on the outside through turns 3 and 4. It looked like he was in the line of Ricky Rudd to draft him, but...
Number 23 at 11.
And around goes Rudd. Labonte turns him. Going into turn 3. Oh, man, I think somebody else piled in hard. Oh, there's a big crash. I think there's a major crash in turns 1 and 2. We're in the middle of green flag stops. Well, maybe not. I think cars were expected to come to pit road that time. They never did. Labonte turns Rudd. That's going to end the feud. Caution's out for the 4th time today at lap 112. As tempers have more than flared over the last dozen laps here at Dega. Between the 21 and the 5. A couple races in the making right there. As they race back to the caution flag. I guess Rudd didn't. Everybody missed to the outside. I guess that's good, though. You don't want to see anybody else get taken up in an accident between two drivers. Tempers flaring on the racetrack. And Talladega is definitely a track that could have happened. But luckily it wasn't. And I think we're going to see a lot of drivers come to pit road right here. Well, Labonte comes into the pits. I'm surprised a lot of the other drivers stayed out. So we had a lot of drivers stay out of the pits. Again, I don't know why they're going to pit under green unless we're like right at the edge of a pit window to make it on 2 stops. I guess that's the only thing I can think of. Which we do have about 75 to go, so that's very well possible. That might be why they're staying out. They might not be able to make it. I don't think the cautions are done. We've had 4 of them now today. They've been pretty evenly spaced apart. Longest green flag run's been about 50 laps, but for the most part, been in like 20 to 30 lap increments. Labonte's going to line up 17th here. A lot of lap cars on the inside. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. Gonna have to watch guys running out of fuel. They're at the very end of the run. I think somebody is out of fuel. I don't know if somebody's out of fuel or there was just a big check up there, but Casey Mears was on the brakes for some reason right in front of Terry Labonte. Labonte just kind of ran right into the back of him. And sure enough, Ricky Rudd is not far behind Terry Labonte right now, too. Of course, they line up next to one another on the restart. Casey Mears going to try to make a pass here. Yeah, they're pitting right now. That is so strange that they did not pit under green. Or, sorry, that they're pitting under green. They did not pit under caution. Look at how many drivers are on pit road. About 2/3 of the lead pack have just hit pit road at lap 116 under green. They did not pit under caution. We were right at the edge of the pit window. Not quite in the middle of green flag stops, but there were going to be cars pitting that time if it wasn't for the caution. Comes a large majority of the rest of the field now. Not everybody's coming into the pits, but most of these guys are. Labonte's cycled into 6th.
inside.
He's got some revenge built up.
Number 43 is passing low. Okay, we're clear.
How fast would the cars go if they didn't have restrictor plates with today's cars? They'd probably go upwards of two. There's no doubt in my mind they couldn't go 230 miles an hour without any sort of engine restriction or tapered spacer. Around Daytona and Talladega, I guarantee that they would go 230, if not 240, flat, like all the way around. And in as giant of a pack as they would be in, going that fast, that's the reason why they have the pack. Because these cars, pretty much since the car of tomorrow, the drafting's been a lot better than what you would have seen in a Gen 4 car. So now, with the body style that we even have now, I mean, it would be insane. But yeah, they would. There's a reason why they have to slow it down. Oh man, here comes Jerry Nadeau. He's trying to block. Labonte just gets around him. Luckily. A couple more cars coming on the pit road. Still got some guys exiting the pits as well. Race leader still on the racetrack. At least the top two ahead of Labonte are still on the racetrack. Mark Martin, Tony Stewart.
He can try something if he catches you.
Now Labonte wants to keep Jerry Nadeau behind him. Nadeau's the second car on the outside behind David Green. Terry Labonte's going to let Christian Fittipaldi get around him. And Labonte's going to draft with him. Race leader still on the racetrack. Lap 121 this time by. Mark Martin still on the track. Tony Stewart came to pit road that last time. So once Martin ends up hitting pit road, whenever he does, that will give Terry Labonte the race lead. Yeah, that was kind of an ugly finish to that race. 2015 Talladega playoff race. Yeah, that was that was definitely an ugly finish there. Oh, this pack's running really slow up ahead. Look how quick Fittipaldi and Terry Labonte caught these guys. Mark Martin coming into the pits. He'll surrender the race lead. Terry Labonte back out in front again here at Talladega. He's going to try to lap as many cars as possible in this pack as well, in case we get another caution. Labonte to the inside of Kyle Petty. And now Kevin LePage. In line behind Biffle.
22, now left.
Look at the run on the outside Terry Labonte's got. I'm surprised nobody blocked him. Oh, look. I don't know what that was all about. That was my bad on that one. Terry Labonte tried to jump to the inside. He had Sadler right below him. After Jeff Burton tried to go to the outside and stalled out the huge run on the outside that Terry Labonte had.
Number 99, up high. Okay.
So again, with the alternating pit strategy, this has just turned into a really weird race today. We've had 4 cautions. 3 single car spins, really, and then the big one that was a 3-car accident. With Kurt Busch going airborne, he's still in the race as you see in the middle of this pack, in that inside lane. Yeah, we might win with Cheez-It on the car here tonight. Try to do our sponsors proud. There's Steve Park, who's got heavy damage after Kurt Busch ran into the back of him, causing Kurt Busch to go airborne earlier. Dale Jr.'s in this pack. That'd be a good car to put a lap down. Gotta assume he's got speed. Steve Park, Joe Nemechek, splitting Terry Labonte 3 wide, putting Labonte in the middle. Mayfield's there. Labonte's in the sucker hole now. Ooh, hang on, boys. There's a big check up there. Oh, Robbie Gordon with a block on Labonte in the middle lane. Bonnie finally clears his teammate Nemechek on the outside. They're not 3 wide. Now Park kind of drives by on the inside. He's drafting with his former teammate Dale Jr. Even though he's got an RCR Chevrolet to his outside of Robbie Gordon. Labonte gets by Steve Park now. Robbie Gordon trying to get around Dale Jr. He really wants to stay on the lead lap too, I'd have to imagine. We're going to alternate the different camera angles for the first time today. Haven't done that yet. Lap 127 at the line. Terry Labonte just going to draft with Robbie Gordon. The inside, I guess.
You're clear.
Shoots right on by Dale Jr. Look at the pull down the back straightaway Labonte got.
Keep racing him clean. You're starting to gain his respect.
Pretty calm action. 60 laps to go this time by Talladega for Terry Labonte. Not sure how many laps he's led today. It's been off and on when he's gotten into the lead. The cautions have played out really weirdly in this one. .43-second lead right now for Labonte. To Matt Kenseth, who's in second. Might shake and randomize the finishing order. There's quite a few drivers a lap down from the one caution we had in the middle of green flag stops when Kurt Busch, that was when the big one happened because Kurt Busch ran into the back of Steve Park coming off of pit road, causing Kurt to go airborne. Oh, man! Labonte got to the inside of Robbie Gordon there. Gordon tried to pull the block, and he obviously wasn't clear. And that just stalled out the momentum by the 5 of Labonte. Labonte might lose Robbie Gordon now. Robbie's drafted pretty well with Brett Bodine also. Terry Labonte almost lost Robbie Gordon. Despite these two being allies, as you can see right there. Plus 100. That's the third driver we're at plus 100 with today.
Number 31.
Drafted with Brett Bodine earlier. Let's draft with him again. Run the Hooters Ford.
Is still there.
Let's keep it clean, buddy.
Bobby Gordon's going to go a lap down, if not more laps down. Labonte working with Bodine now. Maybe trying to get him to plus 100. That'll be 4 allies.
You two have been working well together lately.
Maybe the good luck was me actually opening the packet of Cheez-Its tonight. I wasn't able to do that at Texas. We only had 3 cautions. We had 4 already in this one. Find the good luck charm if you can, if you win a race, and keep with it until you lose. Or not run well again, I should say. I think the good luck charm is Cheez-It on the car, wearing our Cheez-It Greg Biffle hat, eating Cheez-Its during the race. Gotta crack them open at some time. That's if we actually seal the deal here. Again, we still have a little bit of a ways to go yet. Just over 50 laps still. Anything can happen at that point here at Talladega. No clue exactly how this fuel window is going to go to the end of the race, if it's going to be a 1 or a 2 stop race to the finish. It's the 4th driver Terry Labonte's been able to draft with. At plus 100 today. We got a car blowing up. Car blowing up in the middle of the pack. Down to the bottom, onto the apron. It's Johnny Benson. Problems for Johnny Benson. He has blown an engine yet again this season. He's able to at least get to the apron. Out of harm's way. He should be able to get to pit road. These guys are about halfway on fuel. At least Labonte's halfway on fuel. I guess he didn't pit under that last stop. Hops underneath Brett Bodine, working with Bill Elliott. But Elliott riding the inside line pretty well. In turns 1 and 2, trying to get a draft off of Ricky Craven is Elliott. He shot to the inside of Johnson. Johnson won the last race at Texas, by the way. So he's coming off a win.
Got one up. Still there. They're on both sides. Got one outside.
46-second lead. Terry Labonte over Sterling Marlin, who's shown in second right now.
Just hold your line. He's starting to feel comfortable racing with it.
3 wide move there.
Number 9.
Labonte's got a teammate, Jeff Gordon, in this pack.
Racing you as hard as he could.
Labonte's just, at this point, trying to lap as many cars as possible, so he's willing to draft anybody
You're clear.
he can to get to the front of this pack of cars. Try to drive to the next group from that point on.
Still there.
The Rusty Wallace side drafted him right back. Oh boy, a little contact there. Lonnie tried to slide in line there behind Craven. Didn't realize Ward Burton was on the outside of him. Ran into the back of Ward Burton.
The 9 car is going low.
1 week till the NHL starts. Yep. Short season there. What are they playing? 56 games, was it?
Going outside.
Hey, some hockey's better than no hockey. At least they got it figured out.
The 88 car is outside. Number 88 is still there.
He's not racing you as hard as he could.
Clear.
You just locked up 5 more bonus points for leading the
So there we go. Terry Labonte's just clinched the most laps led here today at Talladega. That will give him 10 bonus points now. And Rusty Wallace just got shot out of a cannon at the front of the pack. I think he started to link on to somebody else right there with him as Labonte barely clears Mark Martin off of turn 2. Not sure who that is that Wallace was able to get a run on. I think that's Sterling Marlin in the 40. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's Sterling Marlin. Wallace is on his inside. It is Marlin in the 40, and he'll go a lap down now. This is helping Labonte save fuel as well if this does become a fuel mileage race today. Every run possible if it does stay green to the end. Save as much fuel in the draft as possible, and that is exactly what this shared draft is doing. Ashton, this is just the final season for NASCAR Thunder 04 because it's already our second season with it, and I only doing the season mode on the channel with these full race live streams and a realistic broadcast. So with that being put into place, and I want to continue the series of doing older games playthrough, so I'm not going to do more than 2 seasons per game. Now I will branch out and doing like truck and Busch Series races in the other games when that becomes available starting in NASCAR 05, so the playthroughs will take a little bit longer going forward. This one's actually taken a while if you think about it. I mean, we started like right around early September when we did the Bud Shootout in Season 1 originally, so I mean, it has been a decent playthrough.
He's working with you, so give him some room.
Blocking Rusty Wallace right now. I think it's Mark Martin. No, it's not Martin. Not sure who it is. Oh, here's Ricky Rudd. Terry Labonte's trying to get a run, and he's going to just sling his way on by Rudd. And now trying to get a draft off Michael Waltrip. That was as textbook of a pass as Terry Labonte could have gotten there. Couple DEI cars up at the front of the field right now, running second and third of Michael Waltrip and then Jeff Green. Bobby Labonte's followed his brother Terry on up here now. Just under 4 gallons of fuel left for Terry Labonte and that 5 car at the front right now as well. He's trying to make it as far as he can on this tank. Again, it's going to be close on whether or not it's going to be a 1 or a 2 stop race to the finish for Labonte. He's left the majority of the field. They left the pit just before everybody else. Everybody else could probably make it on one stop. I'm not so sure about Terry Labonte, though. Just gets to the inside of Jeff Green.
Still beside you. The 40
Trying to draft off Michael Waltrip again. I don't think he's going to be able to. Labonte pulls back in front of Sterling Marlin and right behind Jeff Green. Love the people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here throughout the course of the night as well.
The 2 cars now low. You're clear.
I think that might be the Rice Krispie on.
Number 1.
No, it can't be. I don't. Wait. No, yeah, Kellogg's is Rice Krispie. I think they own Rice Krispie. It might be Rice Krispie on the back where it says Kellogg's. Yeah, that's probably it. But it is the Cheez-It primary paint scheme, at least. Christian Fittipaldi just coming off of pit road.
You're clear.
Bonnie's not really pulling away behind Walter, by the way. I think a lot of it's Mikey running the outside. Terry's trying to work with him. He's clinched the most laps led already, plus he's just trying to get away as much as possible. If the caution somehow came out, though, he would desperately try to get around Waltrip racing back to the caution flag.
Coming up quick.
Because if that's the case, he would put everybody a lap down. I think it's going to be a fuel mileage race here tonight, guys. Another reason why Labonte is trying to save fuel in line behind Michael Waltrip in the draft. Darrell Waltrip won his one and only Daytona 500. It's going to be really close. Again, that pit window is 34 to 39 laps. And Labonte, I believe, went about 36 or 37 laps, right around there. 36 or 37 laps the one time he actually went a full fuel run. So it is going to be really, really close. And if he has to pit twice and everybody else has to pit once, that's where everybody else is going to be able to catch up. You mean 2 days ago, Tim? But yeah, we definitely could have had a top 10, that's for sure. In the last race here on Thunder 04. Right front starting to wear. It will be right sides only under this next stop as well. I would assume it's going to be right sides only. Well, this would be ideal if... I'm not sure how fast Jerry Nadeau is. I think he's off the pace. But Terry Labonte's willing to run with him. Try to patch this rivalry up. He's going to get around Michael Waltrip doing it as well. Oh, he's pulling him too. Look at this. Rivals earlier in the race. They might be allies by the end of it. Nader's running the inside lane too. They were at minus, what, 94? Nadeau's tried to take out Labonte a couple times today. Labonte turned him, as well he turned Ricky Rudd earlier for pretty much the same scenario. Not as bad of a situation as what it was between Rudd and Labonte versus Nadeau and Labonte, but still.
The 01 car is attempting a box.
And he's pulling away from Michael Waltrip, too. So he's lapped the field. His Nadeau's already a lap down. Labonte's trying to make this a one-stop race to the finish. We'll have 50 laps to go in the Aaron's 499 this time by. Yes, you heard that right. Fuel mileage race at Talladega. We've had 4 cautions today, but the last one came right at the brink of pit stops. Labonte was the only driver that pitted under the last caution.
The 01 car is trying to block you.
It's a one-stop race for everybody else that pitted under green after Labonte pitted under caution. But does Labonte have enough fuel to make it on one stop is going to be the question. It's going to take a while to figure this out because, again, we're coming to 49 to go this time by. Somebody must have made contact off of turn 4. There's a little bit of smoke there. Bunch of tiny packs running around the racetrack right now, too. Everybody else probably trying to draft and save fuel just in case, too, even though Labonte's probably going to be the closest guy on fuel. He's got a one-lap lead because he did not pit under green. Everybody else did. Boy, if a caution came out right now, that'd be huge. That would trap everybody a lap down.
Number 01 is putting a block on you.
Bonnie's just trying to save as much as he can.
The 01 car is going for the block.
Sorry, I said 49 to go. I meant 39 to go that last time by. My bad on that.
Number 01 is
And
blocking.
when I said 50 to go, it was actually 40 to go. So that's why I mean it's going to be close. We've got 38 laps left as we run right now. And Labonte's going to have to pit this time by.
The 01 car is
Well, he didn't completely patch up the rivalry with Jerry Nadeau, but he got it below minus 60, so next time these two see each other, at least Nadeau won't take a swing at him. It's going to be a 37-lap run to the finish for Terry Labonte. He can't speed either. It's going to be close. Locked it down in time. Perfect, just like last time, too. Labonte's been absolutely perfect coming to pit road all day. Right sides only, full tank of fuel, no adjustments for Terry Labonte. A 37-lap fuel run to the end of the race for Terry Labonte to try and win the Aaron's 499. Right side tires have to hope for no mistakes. His pit crew hasn't made a single mistake all day long. It is going to be tight. It is going to be a tight window. Can he make it 37 laps?
got one up. Okay.
Staying on the apron of the track, he's going to make sure none of these lead lap cars hit him coming out of the pits, that's for sure.
You're clear.
I think I'm fine because there's bound to be one more caution. If there is another caution, I'll probably top off just to make sure. Try to drive back through the pack one more time. As long as it's going to depend how many laps are left if we get a caution, I should say. I mean, if it's going to be super late in the race, we're committed to staying out the rest of the way, but we'll save a little bit more fuel under another caution if we do get one. You'd have to imagine there's going to be another caution. Again, we've had 4 of them. We've already had the big one once. Only 3 cars. Again, one has gone airborne today. The inevitable at Talladega. In this game, especially. So that left front's starting to get worn out. He locked the tires pretty good coming to pit road again, as he did on the last green flag stop, but a caution kind of came out midway through that run, so he never had to worry about it. So maybe he should Kind of hope that that left front's going to make it to the end as well. It should. But that could be a problem as well by the finish, depending on how things play out here. If I'm not mistaken, that might be Jerry Nadeau. No, never mind. It's Kevin Grubb coming out of the rear view of Terry Labonte. Labonte trying to get his second win of the season, second in the last 3 races as well. 8th race of the year. We've had 7 different winners in the first 7 races. 3 Hendrick Chevrolets have won as well. Gordon won at Atlanta. Labonte won at Bristol. Johnson just won the last race at Texas. So Hendrick Motorsports has already gone back-to-back here. Kevin Grubb on fresher right side tires is starting to catch Terry Labonte. Labonte's going to let him go and try to draft behind him and save more fuel. Hopefully he doesn't lose him. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Kevin Grubb's coming to pit road. So again, yeah, these guys are pitting 2 to 3 laps after Labonte. So Labonte's going to be really close to the end. Usually see some guys pitting as soon as the window opens. It is going to be mightily close. He's got a 7-second lead on Kenseth. Again, taking right sides only. Kept Labonte at least in the lead. Probably saved about anywhere between 9 to 10 seconds on that pit stop. It was a clean stop as well for the crew. Harvick is a cheater. Yeah. Field mileage race at Talladega. Watch out for Harvick. No, everybody else can make it on one more stop as they're starting to pit right now. Some of them are going to go even longer. It's not even going to be a question. They won't even have to draft to save fuel even. But I think these guys are good to go to the end. Our window is 34 to 39 laps for the AI, it looks like today. There's Jeff Gordon. These guys are going to go a lap down right now, but
You're clear.
oh, yeah, the way it's pointed. It's like an inverted flag. I can flip it around. I think it's got the same thing on the other side, but the car's facing the other direction. It's kind of cool. It's the Jack Link's car. He doesn't really race that one a lot, but it'll be kind of convenient when granted, we only got a couple more NASCAR Heat 5 races left. I think 4 left in the Cup Series. Next one is tomorrow night at Kansas. First race of the round of 8 there, so that'll be a lot of fun.
He's taking it easy on you. Is anyone else you'd be blocking?
Number 18 is inside. You're
Problem
clear.
is, Labonte's got nobody to draft with for the moment to try and save fuel. There's Jerry Nadeau. That'd be pretty cool if they linked up again. Labonte's going to try to get around one more car here. That's Jeff Green in the one.
Cars down low. Number 1 is going low. Clear all around.
There's Matt Kenseth. Labonte going to draft with him. There's some smoke in turns 1 and 2. There might have been a problem at some point. Lap car might have got ran into the back of, but it looks like everybody's still running. We still stay green. Kenseth's trying to run the outside. He might get away from Labonte. Terry's going to get a run down the back straightaway, it looks like, and hang with Kenseth at least. Rusty Wallace, Sterling Marlin just coming out of the pits. So Labonte trying to share draft with Matt Kenseth, trying to save fuel. Worst case scenario, if Labonte pits, it will be probably a gas and go only stop. Well, it depends though, because he might have to change left sides. That's another thing we got to worry about too. On top of fuel, is Labonte going to make it on fuel, and is that left front tire going to make it to the end?
Number 9.
Mark Martin's showing about a little less than 5 seconds off the lead from Labonte right now.
Hey, roads getting busy. Leaders are headed in.
Clear all around.
We have 30 laps to go at Talladega. Sure, Labonte wants to take the shortest way around as well to kind of help with the fuel economy. But Kenseth's not really doing the same.
Just hold your line. He's starting to feel comfortable.
Caution! I'm not sure where on the racetrack. Caution's out. Labonte tries to race past Kenseth as they race to the caution flag. He's going to beat Kenseth to put him a lap down. Grubb's going to go another lap down as well. 5th caution of the night with less than 30 to go.
The 17 car is outside.
Debris off of Steve Park's car. Looks like his back bumper flew off. So debris off of Steve Park's car will bring out another caution. That's going to trap even more drivers a lap down. And Labonte's going to hit pit road. 4-tire stop. He won't have to worry about his left front tire at all. He'll top off on fuel. So caution's out with just less than 30 to go. No adjustments on the stop for Labonte. To repair any damage he's got as well. Doesn't really have much. Couple scuffs there after some contact with Jerry Nadeau and Ricky Rudd today, but nothing major. '16 or 17. I think it was 2015. I think it was Dega 2015, the race you talk about, Shane. One other driver on the lead lap that isn't Terry Labonte. And I believe it's Mark Martin who's lined up right in front of him. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. Well, here we go.
Number 30 is inside. The 30 car is right behind you.
As we get up to speed, Martin leads. Labonte's got to make sure whatever pack he's in, if it starts to split apart again, he is in the pack with Mark Martin. Martin just took off on that restart on the inside lane. Fittipaldi trying to block Labonte. All these lap cars are trying to race the 2 leaders as well in case a caution comes out again. They can try to get back on the lead lap. No fuel question for anybody today. Why did Mark Martin not pit under caution? Terry Labonte takes the lead off of turn 4. Martin coming to pit road.
Hold it steady. 3 wide.
I don't know why Mark Martin did not pit.
Still beside you.
Oh, trouble! Car in the wall. Bobby Labonte turns down the racetrack into Jeff Green. Terry Labonte misses to the inside. So does Rusty Wallace and Kevin Grubb. We stay green.
Number 2 now left.
Oh my goodness. That's a scary moment right there in the center of turns 1 and 2 at Talladega, ladies and gentlemen. But they all somehow made it through. And Labonte just split the middle right in between everybody. Labonte's got a big lead unless we get another caution. These guys that are in front of him on the lead lap, they'll have a shot at this race once again. So it is not over. Mark Martin's still on the lead lap, by the way, too. Coming off of pit road. Terry Labonte's going to let Rusty, well, he'd rather work with Kevin Grubb only because Rusty Wallace is trying to get back on the lead lap. Labonte wants to work with somebody as a push car. Grubb gets to the inside. Wallace going to try to follow. Labonte blocks him. And he's going to work with an ally. I think Martin's still in second place, but man, that was a boneheaded move. If he just would have pitted, it would have been a 2-car race to the finish if it would have stayed green between Terry Labonte and Mark Martin.
The 2 car is inside.
Rusty Wallace going to get around to the bottom underneath Terry Labonte.
Got one up.
That's someone we can trust out there.
Clear all around.
Yeah, the caution for Steve Park definitely helped us make it on field to the end. No issue there now. It didn't lock us up the win, though, necessarily. It definitely bettered our chances. It was going to be a two-car race between us and Mark Martin, but Martin, instead of pitting under caution, he pitted under green the next lap. I don't understand why he did that. Again, he's still in second, but if we don't get another caution, Terry Labonte's going to win this race. Only maybe 4 or 5 cars on the lead lap. If we were to get a caution, that's all that would be racing for the win. That's if Labonte doesn't catch these guys. You know he wants to. Try to put him a lap down as soon as he can. If we do get another caution as well, obviously assuming Terry Labonte's not involved with it, Labonte will hit pit road. Or sorry, will not hit pit road, so that way nobody takes the wave around. Again, I'm not sure how that contact started a handful of laps ago, but Bobby Labonte must have got hooked on somebody's left front, and him and another car went into the outside wall, and they somehow missed everybody else that was in the pack, and everybody else missed them. Kind of logjammed the pack behind Terry Labonte, who just kind of stroker ace right up the gut. In the middle of the smoke.
Got one outside.
I think we're the exact definition of stroker ace with this game. It seems like we either wreck or we win.
We got 20 laps left.
Still there.
Always nasty accidents, too.
Okay, we're clear. Number 2 is gaining on you.
Rusty Wallace's lap down. Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon up here as well.
He wasn't so friendly, he'd be blocking.
Steve Jr. goes to the inside. Gordon blocks him off. These guys trying to stay on the lead lap in case we get a caution. And I think it's Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth who are in that lead pack, just up ahead of these guys.
You'd usually see him block here. I guess you guys are friendly out there.
Bill Elliott's also in that lead pack, so is Sterling Marlin. So there's more than 5 cars on the lead lap at least. Jeff Gordon's going to go a lap down now. Terry Labonte working with Dale Jr. Chance to make another ally here. Dale Jr. Oh, that's true.
He's passing low.
Well, I think Mark Martin led laps. Yeah, Mark Martin led laps earlier in the race. I know for sure. So he didn't stay out to get 5 bonus points because he had already led laps earlier in the race. There's another stint with green flag stops that he was the last car. Him and Tony Stewart were the 2 last ones. And I remember Martin being the very last one of those guys to stay out. So he would have at least led a lap. And Labonte's already clinched the most laps led. So again, he wasn't even racing for bonus points there. So I still don't even understand why he did that. I'm not sure. Strange. Who would have known? Who would have made it out with that near accident there with Bobby Labonte as well? We got Jimmy Johnson has blown an engine.
As hard as he could.
Our winner 1 race ago at Texas has just blown an engine. He's on the inside of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4.
Just hold your line. He's starting to feel comfortable racing with it.
So Johnson's going to try to nurse it to pit road. Less than 20 laps to go. Tough break for Jimmy. He was having a pretty decent day, too. He was in the top 10 for a lot of it. qualified there as well. R6, welcome back.
If you need someone to draft with, he'll work with you.
Dale Jr. is just going to blow by Bill Elliott on the inside, not wasting any time there.
The 9 car, number
Bonnie got a little loose off turn 4. Got to saw a little bit of a wiggle.
clear on both sides.
16 to go this time by for Terry Labonte. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. Plus 100 with our 5th different driver today, Dale Jr. We're plus with a lot of guys, too. Not 100 with everybody else, but... Saving grace right now is if we get a caution at the end of this race today. That is going to be the only thing that can make this a battle for the win once again. And knowing it's Talladega, and knowing it's a NASCAR race as well, a caution, you never know, could come out at any point in time. You just have to wait and see. 15 to go, though. Terry Labonte trying to get that second win of the 2003 season. I mean, he is almost physically pushing Dale Jr. now. And they have caught the top 3 cars. Terry Labonte's going to try to get around them all as soon as he can. I'm not sure. I'll probably buy it before the end of this playthrough. At some point in time. I don't plan on buying it for at least another couple weeks, so at least. I mean, we're nowhere close to the end of this season. We're still only on race 8. Mark Martin on the bottom.
The 8 car is coming right.
This Martin's technically got the freshest tires in the field by 1 lap over Terry Labonte, and then Labonte's even got a little bit fresher tires than these other guys. Dale Jr.'s a lap down. And these guys are going to be battling ahead of Terry Labonte right now to try and stay on the lead lap. In case we do get that caution.
6 car is outside.
Martin tried to block Labonte. He couldn't do it. Matt Kenseth's on the inside lane.
Number 6 is still there.
Sterling Marlin on the outside as well. We're about to have just 2 cars on the lead lap. I did not see this kind of a race coming today, let me tell you. It's been just a weird one throughout. Not a traditional Talladega race, that's for sure. The only thing traditional, I think, is the fact that we had the big one. We've had tempers flaring at one point. We've got only 2 cars on the lead lap. It was looking like it was going to be a fuel mileage race there for a little bit until that last caution came out for debris off the back of Steve Park's car. With a little bit less than 30 to go at the time. So everybody's good to go on fuel to the end.
He's had some good things to say about you lately.
The 17 car is up high. Number 17 wants to get by you. They're all around.
Well, there it is. Labonte's lapped the field as he passes Matt Kenseth going into turn 3. He's going to try to hold him off as much as he can now to try and keep a 1-lap lead on the field. Just in case we get that caution, what he wanted to do was just try to race his way back around everyone. But anyway, yeah, I plan on getting NASCAR 5 off of Amazon, if I didn't already mention that too. Man, Kenseth overdrove turn 3, clipped the apron going into the corner. Really tried to drive it in deep to find his way to the inside of Labonte, but he couldn't do it there either. He's kind of got to run on the outside. Labonte trying to break the draft perhaps. Kenseth doesn't have enough help behind him for the moment. He's got Sterling Marlin closing in on him though. 10 laps to go here in the Aaron's 499 at Talladega. 15 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here on a Wednesday night. Talladega Super Speedway, a 1-lap lead on the field for Terry Labonte. Pit strategy has worked out beautifully for him today. Caution fell at the right time with Steve Park to make this a non-fuel mileage race, and it trapped almost everybody a lap down. Enough to where by the time Labonte was able to move to the front of this pack, as you see right here, he has put a lap on the field. And he's trying to keep it that way in case we get a caution. So he can trap these guys a lap down still. Because if they race their way back around him, then we get a caution. Then we're going to have a race to the finish again. No green-white checker. Caution's going to have to come out in the next couple laps if it is. Labonte continues to try and block Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, and Matt Kenseth. Sure, somebody else might be closing in as well. I'm sure that giant pack of cars is going to be closing in by the end of it. It's really about as calm as it could be for Terry Labonte right now. Just praying and hoping it stays green and we don't get another big one. He avoided an ear accident on the restart. Oh, well, there's contact. Oh, man. Well, that was accidental. Labonte slipped into the wall off of turn 4, ricocheted back into Sterling Marlin.
Fuel's down to half.
8 to go. Labonte's just got to hang on. Luckily, Marlin's not too upset with him. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Not even paying attention anymore. Just making boneheaded mistakes now. Sterling Marlin just lost the draft of the top 3 here. Kenseth and Martin continue to battle for second behind the race leader, Terry Labonte. 7 to go this time by. Labonte's just got to be smart. Last couple laps probably hasn't driven the brightest, but to make up for it here, we're still green. You don't know if there's debris on everybody else, too.
The 17 car is going high.
It's going to be a good battle for second, though, between Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth. And that's not to say if anybody else is going to close in on this top 3 as well to try and make it a race with more cars to the finish. Remember, this would be a max points day as well for Labonte. He tries to chase that second win of the year. And in both wins he would have this season, assuming he could seal the deal here today at Talladega, they would both be max points days.
Number 17 is inside.
Kenseth has just gotten to the inside.
On your line. You're still there.
Wonder if Mark Martin's going to... Yep, Mark Martin's going to try to follow him.
Still there.
5 laps to go at Talladega. Kenseth back on the lead lap. Martin back on the lead lap. 2 Roush Fenway teammates work together to get by the number 5 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports of Terry Labonte, and now they're drafting one another to try and get away from Terry.
Just hold your line. He's starting to feel good.
Terry trying to stay in their draft again just in case we get a caution. Keep these guys a lap down, but they're slowly pulling away from Labonte, and Labonte doesn't have any drafting help behind him. Four to go. Christian Fittipaldi coming out of the pits. I forgot he was on a different strategy too. He wasn't on the lead lap though at the time, but I completely forgot about him. So Fittipaldi's coming off the pit road. Dale Jr. and Sterling Marlin now starting to catch Terry Labonte. Slow car that just got passed by both Kenseth and Martin. We have 4 to go though, so if a caution came out now, they would just have to race back to the caution flag and then the race would be over. So, I mean, there is pretty much no more pressure for Terry Labonte to even have to hold these guys a lap down. Oh, contact with Junior off of turn 4. Labonte was trying to cut off the draft there between the 40 and the 8. There's Steve Park. 3 to go. He's got heavy damage still. Really holding up Sterling Marlin. Bonnie just wants to be able to share draft at the end of the race at this point with somebody. Specifically Marlin. Because he's already allies with Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace behind him. And with Dale Jr. at the time. Probably not with Dale Jr. anymore, but... There you go. Marlin finally gets to the inside of Park. Rusty Wallace got stuck behind Park. Gordon going to use him as a pick, and Gordon will get by Rusty Wallace for position. Gordon's trying to stick with the draft of Terry Labonte and Marlin so he can maybe get past Marlin. 2 to go for Labonte. 4 cars on the lead lap at Talladega. I mean, this has just been a very, very different Talladega race, but it still had its exciting moments throughout. Gordon to the inside.
He's taking it easy on you. If there's anyone else, he'd be blocking.
Surprise, Labonte's not helping his teammate out right now. Still a lap and a half to go, I think. Well, see, that's the thing. You don't know who's going to be in it for the championship at the end, so you just kind of got to let everything play out the way it looks like it might play out. Who's to say Gordon's not going to be a championship contender at the end of the year, so he doesn't want him to get by Marlin, even though you're teammates. You work together throughout the race, but when it comes to the finish, I think it's every man for themselves. As long as one of them ends up getting the win, which it looks like that'll be the case today. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go from Terry Labonte, trying to make it 3 straight for Hendrick Motorsports, and 2 of the last 3 for Labonte himself. Matt Kenseth in second place right now. He might still have a lap to go. Marlin pulled down to block Labonte in the meantime. Labonte's just going to shove Marlin on past Mark Martin. Marlin might catch Kenseth for second place too. They might still have a lap to go though by the time they get back to the line. Martin will finish the lap down though. Checkered flag in the air. Terry Labonte wins the Aaron's 499 at Talladega. And we did it for Cheez-It. Huge win for Terry Labonte, a max points day early in the season still, but a solid win nonetheless. Kind of an anticlimactic finish pretty much for about the last just over 20 laps when Martin ducked onto pit road. He just would have pitted under caution. At least we could have had a 2-car race to the finish. Had some sort of excitement, but there was still always that case. If we could have had a caution, we almost had the big one a couple laps after the restart. Labonte's going to burn this thing down until that engine blows. Kyle Button, Haiti, welcome to the stream there right at the end. Man, this engine's strong. Might be the restrictor plate capping it out. I don't know. Whatever the case, I don't think this thing's gonna give out anytime soon. Sponsors should give me a bonus. They should. Cheez-It should actually sponsor the channel in itself for the amount of sponsorship endorsement I've given them without them even paying me. It's only been 2 streams, but we can make it. We can make it every stream. Oh, now it's ticking. Hang on, we gotta blow this engine here. There it goes. There we go. That was a fast engine. It's not the career mode, so we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, all of
Big win for Terry Labonte. He got back at 2 rivals, by the way, throughout the course of the race. We did it for Cheez-It. Got the hat. Primary sponsor on the car. Got the snack. And the key was actually opening the bag during the course of the race. We did not do that at Texas. We actually opened the bag this time. A delicious victory. Made a lot of allies today, too. Hey, and we unlocked the Got Milk paint scheme. Andrew Hollenbach, welcome. Yes, winner at Talladega today. Only 3 cars finished on the lead lap. 3 hours, 8 minutes total time on the race today. Terry Labonte leads 113 of the 188 laps, 5 cautions for 15 caution laps, 34 lead changes. So again, we had a lot of lead changes. It was just an anticlimactic finish with the way the caution fell in the middle of green flag pit stops there in the last 30 laps of the race, leaving only Mark Martin and Terry Labonte on the lead lap at the time. And then when Labonte came down the pit road to top off, just to make sure he could make it on field at the end of the race, Mark Martin stayed out. Though, with Mark Martin staying out, it kept everybody from getting the wave around. Because I guess if Mark Martin would have pitted, then everybody else, it would have been more than a 2-car race to the finish now I'm thinking about it. Because if Mark Martin would have pitted, that means everybody on the lead lap would have pitted. It means there was only 2 cars on the lead lap. So everybody would have gotten the wave around. They would have actually been able to restart right there with Labonte and Martin. But with Martin staying out of the pits, it trapped him a lap down still. And then Martin had to pit under green, obviously, the next lap after the restart. Labonte led every lap from that point on. Yeah, by Talladega stand, again, a lot of it was fuel mileage. I don't think we would have led that many laps in a normal Talladega race. We had not 1 but 2 cautions in the middle of green flag stops today, in which we benefited off of both of them because we stayed out as long as we could both times, and that trapped a lot of the field a lap down. I think there were only 16 cars on the lead lap after the first time that happened, like right around lap 80. So just before halfway, and then the last time it happened with less than 30 to go, there were only 2 on the lead lap, so that really altered the finish. That's the second win that we've gotten where I'm not saying we won the race because of a caution. Well, okay. I'm not going to say a caution necessarily won us the race because we had a fast car both here and at Bristol, but it made it to where we didn't have to fight for it at the end of the race. It was pretty much handed to us from that point on. So although we've had a lot of bad luck this season, those 2 races alone have kind of shown that we have had very fortunate luck with cautions coming out at the right time, basically out of the random in the middle of green flag stops. So both at here and Bristol, we had that happen. We'll take a look at the top 10, though. Labonte with the win. Matt Kenseth finishes second, followed by Sterling Marlin, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, the top 5. Gordon didn't even lead a lap either. He was close there for a while, but he could never get it done. Rusty Walls finishes in 6th, Michael Waltrip 7th, Bill Elliott in 8th, Dale Jr. 9th, and Bobby Labonte rounds out the top 10. I'm surprised Labonte still finished in the top 10 with having those issues. Kevin LePage, what a run. 11th. Started 42nd. That's an amazing run for him. We didn't see as many wildcard drivers at the front of the field. The Daytona 500 was just full of wildcard drivers in the top 10 at the end of the race for whatever reason. But today, none of them in the top 10, really. LePage 11th, that's pretty good. But David Green 14th, I guess. That's pretty solid for him. Ashley Lewis 16th. So there was some wildcard guys in the outside the top 10 that finished in the top 15. But that's pretty much it. Take a look at the DNFs. We had a few of them. Kevin Harvick blew an engine. He finished last. Mike Skinner blew an engine. We saw Johnny Benson and Jimmy Johnson blow an engine there. And that was it for the engine failures. Johnson led laps, but obviously disappointing finish there. He was in the top 10 most of the day, so that definitely hurts. Only 4 DNFs today at Talladega. 4 DNFs despite one. Oh, yeah, that's something else, too. Kurt Busch went airborne. Where did he finish? Kurt Busch went airborne and finished 12th. Amazing. The one and only big one in the race. I think it was lap 80, or right around lap 80 for those of you that wanted to go back and take a look at it. Take a look at the upcoming races. We'll take a quick glance at the point standings, and we'll get on out of here for the night. This is the final NASCAR Thunder 04 stream this week. Yeah, Kenseth was pretty good in the standings. Definitely a bounce-back performance after the last race when he lost the points lead. Still early, though. Only 8 races. And again, give it 4 more races. Once we get 12 races in the season, once we get to the All-Star break, that's when we're really going to decide who the true championship contenders are. I keep looking at that, thinking it's the camera. I've got the camcorder right there now, so it's good to go. But anyway, that breaks the streak. We had 7 different winners in the first 7 races until Labonte won there. He's the first repeat winner. It took 8 races for it to happen. Next 4 races, we go to Martinsville next week, followed by California Speedway, Richmond, and then the All-Star race will all be next week on the channel. And the Coke 600, I believe, will be on Sunday next week. So those are the next 4 points races. Quick look at the standings. Matt Kenseth will take the points lead away from Dale Jr. right back, so they continue to go back and forth. Again, it's still early in the season. Now, Talladega did shake up the running order, I'm sure, quite a bit again. There's a look at the top 5. Gordon Stewart, Rusty Wallace having a good start to the season. Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Jimmy Johnson. Tough break there, coming off the win at Texas and a 42nd place finish at Talladega today. Kurt Busch rounds out the top 10 in points. And we're 23rd. We didn't gain much. Despite a max points day, we were 310 out going in. We're 284 out now. And we were 25th in points going in. We came out 23rd. So we only gained 2 points. I was surprised. I thought we were going to have a lot better of a points day. But a lot of guys led laps to get bonus points too. Again, we had 34 lead changes. So that might have paid some of it off. But obviously the guys we were racing all finished pretty much in the top 10. Kurt Busch finished 12th. Johnson DNF. Marlin finished in the top 10. Bobby Labonte did. Rusty Wallace did, Gordon did, Jr. did, Kenseth did. I don't know if Stewart or Jarrett did, but they had good days, though. So, yeah, we've still got quite a ways to go. That's what happens when we DNF in 4 of the first 8 races of the season. But we're on the right track. The last 3 races have been kind of proving it. We've won 2 of the last 3, and although 14th isn't the greatest at Texas, we survived a big accident that day with flipping, and so 14th was pretty good. Martinsville's going to be a tough one to get to the end of, but we'll hope for the best. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams of the realistic broadcast every day in the jumpstart of my young broadcasting career, so help me out on that journey. Just hit 700 subscribers. About had a stroke right there. We just hit 700 subscribers yesterday, before the start of yesterday's stream, so thanks, everybody, for that. Still on the road to 1,000, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. Thanks for everybody watching here tonight. Next full race live stream will be tomorrow on the channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kansas Speedway on NASCAR Heat 5, Cup Series action for the first race of the round of 8. Hope to see you guys there. We'll see if we can get Ryan Blaney in the Championship 4. Thanks for everybody watching. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow.